Hey, welcome to MiWeek After the Show. So Nolan got an interesting email, and it was up on debtnews.com about Attorney General Bill Schuette. Nolan, tell us about that and about how he feels about Prop 1, the road funding.
He stuck a thumb right in the governor's eye here. He's come out against today Prop 1, saying it's a Christmas tree proposal, playing really into the arguments being raised by the critics of this. It raises too much money for things other than roads, like schools and the earned income tax credit. So, I mean, this is the state's #2 elected Republican really going against the governor of his party. I think this is a major public split. The two don't like each other and haven't privately. They've disagreed on a lot of stuff, but this is, I think, a pretty significant public split at the top of the party.
Yeah, I was going to say, Stephen, I think people would assume there are two high-ranking Republicans that they would be on at least on the same page, even if they don't like each other, that they would, you know, kind of support each other.
Well, I mean, what you would assume here is that the Attorney General would not have much to say about a proposal like this. It has nothing to do with his office or his constitutional duties. Nobody really cares what he thinks about this, other than the fact that he's a voter like the rest of us. It's remarkable that he feels the need to come out and do this, and it's clearly political because it has nothing to do with his job.
So what's the political score here then, Nolan?
But wait a minute. I mean, he's saying it in a very loud way. He's not just saying, well, I'm not going to vote for it, I don't support it.
No, he's saying it's bad policy.
He says on a policy basis, Prop 1 has a lot of potholes. He says there's too much under the Christmas tree that goes beyond roads. So he's sort of
Is he wrong?
It's also a mixed metaphor. Potholes, Christmas tree.
Well, hang on, the grammar police just checked in.
But he's giving voice to the opposition. I mean, you have a lot of Republicans are opposing. Brooks Patterson says, well, I'm going to sit on the sideline. The state chamber says, we're going to sit on the sidelines. But they're not really actively opposing it. And, this would give the impression that Bill Schuette is. There's political ramifications, I think, for the 2018 gubernatorial race. It's no secret Schuette wants that to run. And to get through a Republican Party primary, he believes he has to line up the Tea Party, line up the far right, and that will be his base going in. The governor is probably going to support Brian Kelly, the lieutenant governor. So I think he's lining up his base for 2018.
Well, I mean, the other thing this spells is real doom for this proposal. I mean, who's for it? I mean, other than the governor, who says he's for it but is not really out campaigning all that hard for it, it's hard to find anybody who's beating the drum daily, which is what you got to do to get the votes.
In fairness, I mean, they're raising money for a campaign that'll begin 8 weeks out.
They need to be up.
And they've raised a significant amount of money, haven't they?
Not as much as they'd have liked. They want 10 to 15. They were nowhere near that their first filing, but they would, they've got the business leaders of Michigan. They've got the small business group. A lot of the major Republican donors have committed to support this. Business is very much behind it. They see the roads as making Michigan uncompetitive. But in terms of a grassroots campaign for it, I would have thought the MEA, the school teachers, would have been carrying more of the water here because it does flood, as Schuette noted, a lot of money into the schools. But they dislike the governor so much they're not willing to help him get a victory.
So does Schuette make a point with his criticism?
Well, I've said from the beginning that this is a really, really problematic proposal just from a policy standpoint. It's a mess, and it does, we tried to explain on the editorial page of the Free Press last Sunday all the things it does. We filled more than a page of newsprint just trying to go through every sort of permutation of what this seeks to do, and it's just not a way to do this. This was a simple question. Do we need more money for roads or do we not, and where should we get it? We've put a lot of other things on the table here, and I think that makes it harder for people to get their minds around. You needed a simple proposal that people could say, my car can't take another winter on or another spring on these roads. I'll vote for the taxes or whatever it is that we're going to
fuel taxes.
Raise
I believe people would have supported a fuel tax in this environment of $2 a gallon gasoline.
So we'll just get back to Schuette as we kind of wrap this up. Isn't this really early to make a political statement about the gubernatorial election that's 4 years away?
No, I mean, it's never too early today because campaigns never end. There's no beginning, no end.
I have campaign fatigue.
Well, but this positions him because
it's like 2016 already underway.
If he came out in support of it, they'd have never let him forget it. Bill Schuette supported a tax increase. If he didn't come out against it, people said, well, Bill Schuette was silent on a tax increase when he should have fought it. I mean, he was in a position as a guy who wants to run for governor with a very conservative base behind him. Or he might not have had any choice but to do this.
But it's terribly cynical. I mean,
it is, of course.
It is beyond sort of petty politics and taking a real swipe at the governor for no good reason, and leaving the people of the state with bad roads. It's not like he says in this thing, hey, well, here's a better idea
for
fixing the roads.
Right now.
He's just saying, don't do this.
There isn't a better idea. And
it's not a better idea than anyone thinks will pass. There are better ideas.
Well, of course, but I mean, the alternative right now is, amongst the opponents, is pass this or find the money in the current budget. Well, you start finding the money in the current budget, some of that's going to come out of the Attorney General's office and every other department of state.
He won't like that. He won't like that either. So, hey, when is it too early to start talking about the 2016 presidential election?
I have said before, I am not in favor of this 365 a day, 365 a day a year election cycle.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that. But where's our threshold? When can we start talking about it?
At least July.
It's not up to us. The news is setting the agenda. You had out this week the Hillary email issue every single day.
So she's going to come out in April, I think.
You had the Scott Walker
She's
stuff.
going to run for 19 months.
The news is driving
Ben Carson.
So you have a 19-month campaign.
I've already got fatigue. I'm already tired. And we haven't even started yet. All right, that's My Week After the Show. Thanks so much for joining us. MiWeek.org. See you next time.